Shalom, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Different Thinking Chat with Reverend Benson Akhigbe II. This is our conversation on the first day of the week service, otherwise called the Sunday service.
Thank you.
And Reverend, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Pastor Daniel, God bless you.
Thank you. So, we're looking at your message at the weekend service, Dream Big, Dream Again. And there are a lot of questions and just conversations to build around that message. But I'd like to start with, as a form of introduction, when you talk about dreaming big, dreaming again, what is really at the heart of it? Especially at a time when people come up with all kinds of dreams, all kinds of...
Thank you so much. That's a wonderful question, Pastor Daniel. When we talk about dream, it's not about looking at somebody's dream. It's about looking at what God has packaged you for. God has a dream for everyone before they showed up. And that dream is what we are looking at, that you should dream big. Him, I. And the dream that God has for you cannot be fulfilled by your own effort. It has to be fulfilled with Him being by your side, being in community, and aiming high. Because it will blow your mind. And most times people think you are driven, but you are not driven. You are just at rest, doing the things that you believe God has called you to, that is stretching you, and you are stretching to the point of faith. No doubt, what is true can be counterfeited. You cannot have a counterfeit if you don't have an original. So people can say, oh, why are you dreaming this? Why are you dreaming this? But there's a thought that God has for you. There's what was written in your scroll before you showed up. And that's what we are talking about. And if you have spoiled one plan, you have destroyed one plan, you need to dream again. The first Adam destroyed it. But he didn't know that God fixed it even before he showed up. And so the last Adam came. And we are living in that place today. The last Adam was born as the second born in a generation of second sons, which is supposed to have mercy, because the firstborn has justice, the second son has mercy, but he chose to go for justice and gave us mercy, to be able to say, you can do this, you can do this.
So, for someone who is saying, for example, that I don't know what God's dream for my life is, what would be the starting point for that person?
One, be in a community of dreamers. Not only that, in our family here, we talk about our shape. What are your spiritual gifts? The things you do. These are gifts. You can have a spiritual gift of teaching and an ability of teaching. The spiritual gift of teaching is when it comes upon, you are wondering where the ideas are coming from. And when people get it, there's impartation. Their belly is full, not only their head. A teaching ability is there to bring you the full head of knowledge. But when you check that one, your spiritual gift, your heart, what is in your heart? Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Your abilities, your personality. Are you an introverted person? Are you an extroverted person? Are you a talker? Are you a doer? Are you a thinker? Or are you a feeler? And we need to also know, what are your experiences? The experiences that you have throughout your lifetime. Maybe when you were small, you were disappointed when you were a teenager. Put them together, you'll be able to get God's dream for your life. Also, what are the prophetic prayers over your life that people may not be able to cancel you into? Jesus made a statement, my meat is to do His will. That's another one. What gives you strength even if there's no money? Because when we're talking about dream, most times people tie to money. I'm not saying you are not going to pay your bills or make money. But the truth of the matter is that what you are called to do is not profit over people. It is people over profit. Whether you are in the marketplace or whether you are called into the fivefold ministry as a coach. So when we look at all these things, and I believe that we need to be in a community, because that's who they know you. And we're not talking about communities of competitors. We're talking about community of cooperators who cooperate and not manipulate, that they will be able to call out, especially a prophetic community, to call out your destiny.
Thank you so much, sir. That's so. As you were just sharing that, I was again going to ask. You were saying at the weekend service that there are 3 steps to your dream. There is the what, there is the how, and there is the when.
Yes.
So how do you navigate through these 3? Especially we're in a season and a generation where everything is fast. I mean, we've gone from edge to 5G, and we want everything super fast. So how do you navigate through these 3 seasons?
Yeah, you find out that when God tells you what to do, most times we run along, and we are not waiting for how. If He has called you into being a medical doctor, that's what He has called you. How are you going to be that? Which school are you going to get into? How are you going? Is it in the nation that you are, or you are going somewhere? When are you going to enter the thing? And what the thing is this: when you get qualified as a medical doctor, where are you going to deploy it? God did not give you this dream for you to abandon Him. He wants to be with you at every step of the way, so that you can hear Him. You can be in that community who also hear too. Because I don't want people to cancel me out of my pain. I want people to cancel me into my destiny, despite the pain. Because most times when we are pursuing our dream, that God-given dream, there must be hurdles to climb. There must be hurdles that you will need to overcome. And most times, you love people, you don't want them to go through pain. You can even cancel them out of their pain. And so, with that, we need to calm down. I want you to know your dream is not only for you. Because most times people want to say, I want it now. And no, what you are pursuing, you are setting up the next generation too. Because the covenant that God has with you is not for only you, it's for you and your generation that you may see and may never see. And also for people that are not from your biological loins, who will read about your story and say, this is my key motivation in the life of Pastor Daniel. And I didn't see him, but right now Pastor Daniel is no more, which is we're talking about many, many years after now. But your works, your writings, and the stories they are telling about you is motivating some persons even when you are no more. That's what we must see. Not being able to say, okay, you blow up, you blow in, and you blow out. No. So most times it's about blowing in, blowing up, and blowing out, and that's not that situation. Because if you understand that the race that we are running now, some persons ran it before, and they didn't finish it. They were not supposed to finish it. They were supposed to hand over the baton to us. And we are supposed to run well and set the other generation up for them to run it well. And we will be in the grandstand clapping for them and urging them on, because if they refuse to finish the race, we have not won. We have not won. It's a relay race. It's a relay marathon race. So Apostle Paul and all the rest, and your grandfather and everything, they are looking up to you for you to be able to say, go ahead. Finish what we started. And they also ran to an extent for what also their ancestors, those who came before them, started, and they pushed it further. Ours is to push it to another level to set up the next generation. With this instant thing and instant gratification, most times we may not have the tenacity to withstand hurdles. And we easily give up. Especially when we say, oh, maybe God is not here. And it can be fully there. Yeah.
I'm looking at what you just said, sir.
Yes.
And then I'm looking at, okay, so how do you deal with, this is the dream, this is the journey, but there is pressure in the immediate. I've seen businesses, where people said they had God to start something, different projects shut down, not because, it wasn't viable in the long term, but because of the pressures of the immediate. So you are in that waiting season, that journey, in that dream. How do you now navigate through there are bills to pay in the immediate, there are pressures from, different angles. How do you navigate that?
Well, when you see that happening, that navigation is how? Because in pursuing your dream, always think and look. Not on. Okay, let me say, think the long haul. Think long term. Because we are the instant getting things, we no longer, we want it now and we want it fast. But most things that are now and fast are not even healthy. Yeah. And so, when definitely your dreams will come with hurdles. There was a man that started a business and for 4 years he could not sell. But he kept at it. People that are even doing great things now have also gone through hurdles, and there have been times they were discouraged. There were times they were even suicidal and came into unusual debt that they could not understand how their projection did not work out well. But can we shift our focus one more time? Because he has told us this is our God-given dream. People have confirmed it to you, and you are having hurdles. Then go back to the one that assigned you. And he will be able to tell you how to navigate the issues and how to stay true, that this also will soon pass if we don't give up. And the funniest thing is this: when you even give up, you find that 2 years down the line, somebody who did not give up, then you now want to go and start again. You will have to create another momentum again. And it may be so, God is a God of second chances. I don't want to go there. And even many chances. So, it's good to start. Moses started first at 40, but he started wrongly. He didn't know how. He didn't know when. And the people did not know how, did not know when. So they rejected him. He rejected them and ran away. But he came back again after 40 years. And at 80, he started his dream that was supposed to have started at 40. God is patient, so let's be patient. The Bible says to your faith, add patience. And I believe with that, we could.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Moving on, you mentioned during your teaching that it's not our responsibility to create what God is saying, but to build on what God has said. All right, so can you throw a bit of light on that? Because there is this confusion between your prophetic word, and then trying to create. Are you saying that we can't dream up something for ourselves, create a dream for our lives? Is that?
Most times, I'm not saying all the time. Most times, that's when we find obstacles, we give up because we created it. And we don't have the capacity to continue and to fund it. Yeah, David said in Psalm 139, I believe people can meditate on Psalm 139. He said, every day of my life was written in my book before one day appeared. Before one day appeared. And if he has dreamed that, he has that in mind for you, it's better you work on the one who understands the universe, who does not need the universe to survive. The universe needs him to survive. It's better I take up his dream, whether I will be visible or prominent, but I will be significant. I may not be prominent. And I will not destroy lives while fulfilling my own vision. But if it's his own, will I have troubles? Yes. Will I have hurdles? Yes. But I will know who to take it to. So it's better don't create your own, because what he did not order for, he will not pay for.
This is a lot to take in. For me, I work with a lot of young people.
Yes.
And there is this, I don't know whether to call it a dream apathy, where it looks as if young people, you mentioned a dream and it's different from a fantasy. I'm sure you will throw more light on that. But I'm also looking at, there seems to be a dream apathy among young people. The pattern is simple. Just blow, make money, and nobody's really thinking about what's God saying about my life, what are the problems that I'm here to solve. And then where you also have people asking those questions, you see things like there's a focus on limitations. I've heard people say, if I want to pursue this dream, not in Benin, for example.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about that?
Well, it depends on the capacity and who you are following. What he wants to do, how he wants to do it, and when he wants to do it. All these are part of the location you will. But today we live in a time where people can, in one button now you can press and speak to somebody with a video call in China. And no doubt there are visions that are dreams that are specific, site sensitive or location sensitive. People say they want to pursue their dreams and they just want to make money. Yes, that's what I picked out from want to make money, then the rest is history. The rest can be history. Because money is a tool. The waking up every day, trying to push past hurdles, trying to solve a problem is more than when the money comes, the pursuit of it. Okay, let me try to say it. There was a time you were pursuing to pass JAM, and it was all your pursuit. And when you got it, what was the sweeter part of it? Was it the pursuit or the getting? It was the pursuit. And most times people do not. Money is good, but money can only do one thing: pay your bills. That's all. And you don't need to have a dream to solve problem to have that. You can get money in any way. But in trying to solve people's problem, that dream, what will happen is that pursuit is necessary for your heart. The pursuit of, I want to get this thing done for this. Maybe you are trying to organize money to pay school fees for somebody. And as pastoring people in school, you have that journey. You have that interaction. You're calling people are calling and say, how can I help? And everything. It's good for your heart. It's enlarging your heart for where God is taking you to, than for you to say, I need this money, and immediately comes in your hand. I believe you become sport. You don't have any, there is nothing to restrict you and for you to push and get that done. So that journey of that pursuit, most people do not, they have done one, it was heart-wrecking. It was their faith was stretched, but they got it and they achieved it. And most times, because of fear and lack of courage, they don't want that again. But it's good continually that you constantly be in that state. Why? Anything that is done without faith is sin. Wow. It's sin. Sin is not that you are going to go to hell. That's what is that is not the best way for your life. So I need to trust him all the way. I don't need to have be so confident in myself when I'm going to do something. I should be confident in the one who has commissioned me.
We have a question online.
Yeah.
Question here on Facebook. A.B. Usatu Osenwige is asking, how do we deal with the need for prominence? Like my dream should lead me to being known. How do we deal with the need for prominence?
You see, the dream of prominence is not your own. It's his own. Your own is to do the planting and the watering. Your own is to serve. Jesus said this, for this purpose I was born. Why? To serve. My increase or prominence comes from him. No doubt you can work it out yourself. Like I said, where there is counterfeit is because there's an original. And if there is no original, there can be counterfeit. God will exalt you. You can also exalt yourself. Your friends can exalt you. The world can exalt you. But unto what? Unto what? Unto increase or unto decrease? Because Apostle Paul made a statement. He said, I planted, Apollos watered. But you see, it was God that gave the increase. And it's time for us to do that. To understand that I will focus on my planting. I will focus on my watering. So if God calls you tells the woman now that you will be a homemaker, which we in our palace is called housewife. Will the woman be okay about it? Because of what is going on around now. But you may find out that from that place, that is how you can be prominent. When Mary was saying yes to something that was impossible, it was something that she was accepting in her life that is a stigma. Today, there's a stigma. They still call Jesus the Son of Mary. How? I'm not sure you want to collect such assignment, because it will not make you prominent. It will make you the scorn of society. And we need that level to understand that it's time for us to not begin to fight for the increase. Let's fight for the planting and the watering, because that's for me. But my focus will not be on the planting and the watering, because increase does not come from the planting and the watering. Increase comes from him. So if he says I should be in the backside serving, I will serve, not believing that this thing I'm doing will actually take care of me. I'm believing that he will take care of me. Whether I will come to limelight and be on top is not significant, because it is not well done, that good and prominent servant. It's well done, that good and faithful servant. And Jesus said, if I come, will I still find faith on the earth?
I want us to stay on this issue of service just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Reason being that, again, because of the demography I interact with a lot, I've seen a lot of these. Nobody wants to take the backstage. Some way, somehow, we have equaled prominence with significance. And in fact, I was with some persons one time, and then they were about to start ministry and they were praying. And what they saw in the prayer room was the private jet, the nations opening. And these are not bad things, but I don't feel that should probably be the focus, as it were. What if we never get a private jet? Does it mean that we are not successful in ministry, And you have that thing where I have my dream, you have your dream. It's a similar dream, but I don't want to come down to serve under your dream, because I feel either it will water down what God has called me to do, or I may not get that prominence of this was my dream, I started it. So I want you to stay on the issue of service a bit.
You see, we have, Apostle Paul was saying, don't be conformed to the patterns of this world. We have become individualistic in our approach because of the way we were educated. We're educated from the Gentile mindset, which is their way of thinking. Now, we are no longer dreaming in community. And it's even affecting some part of some nations, and other part of people are dreaming in community. I don't need to be the face of this business, but I can be the shareholder. Because now, let me try to summarize it. Where where are you waking up? Okay. When you wake up every day, which person's dream are you trying to fulfill and make come to pass? That is what the scripture, that's what Jesus is, that's what Christianity is all about. I wake up with whose dream am I actively pursuing to make come to pass? I make both to say we are here to fulfill God's dream. Now, even if I don't even get prominent, because it is not man that rewards me. If man rewards you, that means that man also can also demote you. If they promote you, they can demote you. If they have accolades for you, we have seen it. There was a time they were clapping for him. The next time they say crucify him. It happens like that. You see, you have your nose now. If I cut out your nose, you will still live. But let me take away your heart. Nobody sees your heart and say, Pastor Dan, we have a beautiful heart. I can see the way the arteries are positioned. But they will look at your face and say, oh, what a wonderful face. We have seen people that have somebody who has no face, but he's living. So we have exalted that above what God is saying. Jesus said, I came to serve. Imagine, maybe I'll zero it here. Jesus had all the power in the room. He said when he knew all authority was given to him, he was the most powerful person in that room. And he would have stood up and said, all of you bow to me now. Yeah. And make me prominent now. Crown me king because of power. And what did he do? He took the position of the lowly servant in the house to wash their feet. And you know what scares me? Is that nobody asked to wash his feet. And he has been walking the earth since. So his leg would have been covered so much in dust. But nobody. So it comes to me. Can I wash your feet? And when he finished, you know what he said? Do this. What was he saying? I'm sending you to this word to take the lowly part of the servant. So it's our kingdom is upside down. When the word said there's a casting down, he said there's a lifting up. When the word said there's a lifting up, he said no. Let's go for a retreat. When the ministry did well and the demons submitted and everything, they came back excited and he said, okay, let's go to rest. No, that's not the time to rest. That's the time to put on the signboard. That's the time to set up the office. That's the time to do that. And most times we get the reward, like you said, the private jet and everything. It's one of the things that the word used to motivate. Jesus told his disciples, no doubt you will get it, but there's persecution attached to it. It's attached to it. Do you want that? But we don't talk about that anymore. We'll talk about it, this and those. Now, there are some people that we need the private jet. There are some that do not. And there are some that are supposed to lead from behind. The problem comes when they are leading in front. They are both leaders. The one prominent may just be the one that has the face. But the engine behind it, even the one that has the face knows who are the ones. Maybe I should stop here. It's a major discussion we need to unravel.
Yes, it is. But we can't let you go, sir, until we've talked about one of the dreams that was seen being vetted here and finding expression.
Yeah.
And that's the Adulam School of Supernatural Reformation and Transformation. Can you tell us what was the dream, starting ASSRT?
Yeah, it was a dream that we believe because of what God is telling us as a family to do, to cure desert places in every stage and segment of life. And wherever you are called to, whether you are in business, whether you are in the other 7 gates or spheres of society, we're called to be supernatural. And supernatural does not mean to be spooky. It's just being able to dream the dreams of heaven and think from that reality downwards. That's what it is. And it can be lived naturally. You know, I was having a discussion yesterday and said, this phenomenon of giving prophetic word with some fanfare was just developed in the 1800s. But normally, in the first century church, they were giving the words as if they were discussing. It was a discussion. Sometimes they can do a prophetic action to use the bed to tie somebody and say this is what will happen to the person. But it was just like a discussion. Same thing. You can be in the boardroom, even in governance, and being able to bring solutions. Daniel was served 4 pagan kings. He didn't defile himself, but he was relevant in this place of governance. At that same point, we had an intercessor like Ezekiel prophesying at the outside the palace. So some of us called into the palace. Some people are called there to serve people who may not know God, that we call them. But we are called to be disciples of society. So that was the concept of to cure desert places in every segment of life. To raise the stay-at-home moms or the stay-at-home dads. Because something can happen to a dad and he's staying at home and the wife is working, but providing that comfort and that. And for those who will go to education and bring how was Jesus educated? How were they educated in their time? To bring it directly here so that we can have that sphere of influence being under God, not under religion. Because we have known that God can save, but we don't know that God can lead a nation. So that was the concept. So we started doing the School of the Supernatural to raise people. As at now, we have people have gone, about 395 people have gone through the school in this number of years. It's a 1-month training that we do activation, we do city service, we engage you, we bring people that are in the marketplace, both in ministry, to share with you how they have done, and they will give you some critical tools, and also there will be an encounter time within those phases. We believe that people coming into the school have to lead that supernatural life, even before the school, because they have to believe God to even be able to come and enroll in the school, and also be able to live that life. And we have seen some people going through the school will say, I now understand how I can be a better lawyer, I can be a better doctor, and everything. It's not basically to raise you to be in ministry, but I tell people, there are people that will be life coaches. In other words, there will be coaches, the fivefold ministry. Not everybody will be that. But everybody are coaches in their various spheres of influence, because then you have become a discipler there. And so we encourage people to make the investment to be in this school at the end of this month, which is starting 31st July 2023, and even for 1 month. We have structured it well, so if you want to be able to get the information, write us and send us a message, because it's a great time to have that thing. And we are even believing some of the alumni people that have gone through, sometimes they pay for people. And some of them are also saying, I'll pay for somebody, because some persons actually paid for them before they came in. So they made that commitment that forever, oh Lord, as long as this school continues, I will constantly be there. Not only that, we have some short-term courses on short-term schools within the Adulam School series. We have the school that we just finished one online for 4 weeks, Adulam School of Business and Economic Policy. In fact, next week, Tuesday, for the next 3 Tuesdays of this month, we have the Adulam School of Adulam School of the Prophetic. Why? Everybody can be prophetic, everybody. But you are not a prophet, but everybody can be prophetic. So we have that online, start 7 p.m. every Tuesday, starting from next week Tuesday, and we want to live dangerously. Where in the school we train you to risk, and you might make mistake, but we are not dwelling on the mistake. We are dwelling on the things that are that make for you to have forward movement and increase. I believe I'm sure you still have something to talk about the school, because you are you are a great facilitator and one of the people that organizes the school.
Well, Well, today I'm actually here to ask questions. Because one more thing that we will just touch on. I'm sure you were saying on Sunday that
Yes.
think locally, start locally,
But think global.
think globally.
Yes.
I'm sure that global thinking was what bettered the online stream.
Yes.
Of the 1 month.
Oh, thank you so much. We have the online stream that you can, anywhere you are in the world, you can go through the school, and there will be people that will come and engage you online. And now we're even doing something that we're adding both the on-site and the online for the on-site student, so that they don't get to be here throughout for the 5 days because of the situation now. But we'll make it because of the transport situation and just being able, because these people are young people and want them to go. So they have some 3 days to be on site and 2 days to be online.
Wow.
But there's a set now that is purely online. You take the courses online. You will be spoken to every week. There will be an activation time every week with a facilitator or somebody in the school that will come and engage you. So all over the world, you can get into the school now for this 1 month intensity. And for online, purely online, it's about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. So
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
So great having you again. Just shape our mindset and our thinking. One thing that all of us must leave here with, I believe, is that we are here on earth to fulfill God's dream for our lives.
Thank you.
And I've taken that, and I'm sure it's one to even, just put everywhere on your status, just put it online. I'm here to fulfill God's dream on earth. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Daniel, for being here with me today. And so we thank everyone for being in this broadcast today. And my prayer is that you think differently constantly, and also know that God is not a retributive nutcase. It's a life giver. Whether you have made a mistake in the past and destroyed one plan, there are other plans for you. The purpose for God for your life will not be defeated. Other plans may have been defeated, but He has other plans for you to go through. May you come into the fullness of who God has called you to be. God bless you all. Have a great day.
You too. So see you, same time, same channel, next week.
Thank you so much.
Shalom.
Shalom.